My name's Chris Jones. I am the Industrial Automation Intelligent Device Manager for Schaedler Yesco. I oversee pretty much everything in the industrial control catalog. Remember the old white one? So pretty much everything in there. Between sensors, safety, drives, power control, MCCs, that falls under me. But today I'd like to give you a little update here on our safety components. That's something that I've been working with for the last 20 years. And as you can see, if you haven't visited our booth yet, we have a lot of new stuff over there. And believe it or not, we can't keep up with what's new, so we even have some newer stuff that I'll talk and share with you today about that we don't have there. And before I forget, if you have any questions, please be sure to visit us over there. We'd be happy to talk with you more, get you information, demos, and talk about applications with you as well. So for anyone familiar with Rockwell's safety automation product line, you know that it continues to expand. First and foremost for Rockwell, it's important and at forefront of mind that we are now looking at, as they come out with safety products, that we're looking at connectivity. All right, anybody ever heard of the connected enterprise? You know, that's a term that Rockwell likes to use. Now, what that really means is to say that everything here connects. You know, so everything down to the sensor level, down to the interlock level, that now we have full visibility all the way back in our Studio 5000, you know, through connectivity. So here you can see, you know, we have compact guard logics. We have a lot of our Ethernet connectivity connected devices up top here with the green line. And then we have more of our basic devices down here that are connected either through point IO. Over on the right side there, we have GuardLink. We'll talk a little bit about that today. And then some of our newer interlock devices here. So first one I like to talk about, this is probably one of my favorite new devices. Has anyone here ever used safety scanners, whether it's Rockwell, other devices? So safety scanners have been on the market for quite a few years. They're a time-of-flight sensor device to where you have a spinning disc. This particular device can sense up to 270 degrees. One of the neatest things about this, though, is one of the challenges that people have, especially you get into a plant, you have maintenance staff, you have to go out and you know, somebody wants to know how to fix it, right? They go out there, they say, which software do I need? So it's typically, historically, been a different software. The nice thing about this here is a SIP safety scanner, which communicates over Ethernet, which now means, as you can see here in the middle, Studio 5000, we've now taken the software and integrated it right into Studio 5000. So there's no separate software now. It literally is, when it's connected to Studio 5000, when you open that, that is opening that software interface right in Studio 5000 to fully configure that device. What does that get you? That gets you not only full access to this device, the full configuration of the device, but also backup to the device too. So as you can see here, it is a lot like previous scanners. However, the interface really is what gives you that benefit. You know, this here, as we talk about it, it could do up to 4 zones, max safety range of 5.5 meters. This is a SIL level 2 device, performance level D. Reason for that, a lot of people ask, well, why is that? Why can't it be higher? It's because it's a time-of-flight device, right? So light curtains, you have one side that shines through the other. So you have a sender-receiver, and they can be checking each other. Here, this is time-of-flight. So it's sending out a beam, it's coming back. Yeah, it's going to double-check that which is configurable. Anybody that's worked with these, you can change that timing. You can change how many times it has to see something. But the max SIL level you're going to get with this is SIL 2. Next device I'd like to talk about here a little bit is our 450L light curtains. Anybody use these light curtains yet? One of the biggest things about these light curtains that is different from any other light curtain in the market is this is now a transceiver technology. So anybody that's concerned at a plant about inventory levels, stocking parts and whatnot, both your sender and receiver are the same part number. So the way that's configured is through plugs at the bottom here, and I think I have another picture on this. But now you have a device that's fully configurable, has full-scale sensing, which means unlike most light curtains previous, you always had a gap at the ends. And sometimes, depending on what kind of safety application you were doing, you might be able to put your fingers through the bottom or the top. You couldn't sense all the way to the edge. These here are fully sensing all the way to the top edge and the bottom edge. So if you're putting them on an opening, you truly are sensing that whole area. We do have two different models of these, the basic model and the enhanced model. Really, the difference there is the enhanced, if you're doing muting, blanking, that kind of thing, you would use the enhanced. Also cascading. So these here can be expanded to where you have plugs in the bottom and the top. You can cascade from one to the next. And then also, and I'll talk about this here in a little bit, we do now have SIP safety over Ethernet for these as well. So here's a little bit of overview just about the sticks themselves. It talked about just the monitoring, the sensing from end to end, the ability, for your muting, blanking. One of the things about these on the enhanced, they have the integrated laser alignment to where that is actually taking, it's not a single beam, it actually takes a fan beam to either side to make sure that you're not twisting, that you can easily align these. And again, that is on the enhanced version. Here's a little bit of difference there between your resolutions and your distances. You can see 30 millimeter resolution. You can go all the way up to 53 feet with these. And there you see the difference too, that the enhanced has the muting, blanking, and cascading ability. We talked about SIP safety over Ethernet. That now is available for these as well. Same thing as a scanner. You talk about what does this get you. Now you're not having to configure the light curtains out at the stick itself. One of the things I will say here, up top is the plug. And actually, if you go over to the booth, we do have something there that shows you the different plugs you can put in. We do have some universal plugs, and depending on dip switch settings, you can set your light curtain up that way. But with SIP safety over Ethernet, now all that configuration is done in Studio 5000 again. Not only is it done in Studio 5000, it gives you a whole lot of diagnostic information. Not only is it tripped, is it not tripped, all the way down to the beam level. What beam level is causing me problems? Could there be a scratch on there and I can't find it? It's going to tell me which beam is tripped. It'll give me the temperature of these. So from a predictive maintenance standpoint, when you're looking at safety, and this is really across the board for Rockwell right now. We talk about SIP safety. We talk about IO-Link. If you saw Jack earlier, he was talking about some of the IO-Link products. Now our devices, even down to the sensor level, have built-in temperature sensors, and is going to start to give you some of that predictive maintenance capability to say, hey, you know what, that temperature is up higher. Is there something going on with my sensor, or is there something going on with my machine in that location? So there's a lot of diagnostic information that can really be pulled from this when you're using, in this instance, SIP safety over Ethernet. Here you go is what it looks like. This is all pre-populated in Studio 5000 when you set this up. You just look at some of the diagnostics that you get. Again, those tags are all automatically configured when you set up these devices. So when you talk about bringing in these, very little development from Rockwell to the standpoint that you're inserting this into your program, and now you have all the devices set up and the tags set up for you. Next thing, and this is brand new. We don't have any of these over there yet, but I wanted to let you know this is available. So we talked about point of operation control as a 450L. This is the 450L PAC, perimeter access control, to where this would be something like on your left there, you're guarding the perimeter of a device, and now you might have, two different sets of beams. Very similar to where it senses from end to end. Transceiver technology, that's the biggest thing with these, again, is that it's one single part number for the light sticks. So you would use 2 of the same part number and then select your sender receiver plugs. Just examples for those who may not know where to use these, around palletizers, fences, robot cells, work cells, anywhere where you might have hard guarding, but you want access. You put this through, use a series of mirrors as well to get your corners and have perimeter protection. A little bit about these there. You see the plugs that go end to end. Also, these do have cascading as well. On the far picture to the right, you see where you have a plug at the bottom coming from your safety controller. Plug at the top can go to your next set. So around your machine, if you have multiple sets of these, you can go from the top of one into the bottom of another one rather than running multiple runs of cables and wires out to your light curtains, which has traditionally been done in the past. This here shows you the 1, 2, 3, and 4 beam configurations that we have. Just so you guys can see what the difference is there, anywhere from 150 millimeters to over 1,000 millimeter lengths. Next thing I want to talk about is GuardLink safety. We do have this over there. I'd love to talk to you a little bit more about this. To me, this is a game changer in the industry. How many people have had long conveyors with 20, 30, 40 E-stops on it and E-stops pressed, and you're scrambling to go find out which E-stop's pressed? I think a lot of us have been there, right? This really takes that and helps solve that problem. GuardLink is a 2-wire network that uses these node devices. A single GuardLink module, the red one on the right, can handle up to 32 nodes. Each module has 2 channels in it. So each module, safety module, can handle up to 64 devices. What this will give you, and I think I have it in the next slide, is with that gray module, that's an Ethernet connectivity. So now this is basically going to give every device on your E-stop string or your safety string, it's going to give it a tag. So now you're developing a tag, and that tag in there is already pre-populated when it comes down. You can rename it, but now you know in your program if an E-stop's hit, an interlock's hit, whatnot, now you know what that is. Additionally, this gives you the ability on our 8-wire network to do unlocking and locking as well. So if you have solenoid locking devices, you can do that through GuardLink as well. Next up, safety encoders. Folks may not know this is out there. This, again, is pretty new for us. You see it's SIL 3 PLE capable. Places you might use this, and I want to get into this a little bit more, is for like safe limited speed on a conveyor. So if you want to limit a speed to where you have an operator interfacing with it, if you have somebody walk up into a scanner or an area that you need to slow down the conveyor, you can maintain that speed in this with the safety encoder, and that's a true safe SIP safety, again, over Ethernet feedback into your safety controller. Another place you might use them, again, is safe directions. So if you're cleaning rolls, you might be maintaining or monitoring the speed and direction of that, right? So that they can be moving slow, and then you can clean those rolls. Also, safe position. If certain things need to be in a safe position to be able to interface with it, this, again, can provide you with that information. And then safe operating stop. The saw blade here, perfect example. You want to make sure before somebody interfaces with it that it's truly stopped, and the safety encoder can do that. I want to switch gears here a little bit in my last couple slides. Has anybody ever heard of Ross Controls? So this is a partner of Rockwell, and this is one of the neatest things that I really have enjoyed getting to know and work with. Rockwell for a long time has done very well at safety systems from an electrical standpoint. Our safety relays, our safety contactors, we look at all that. But when we do a risk assessment, we're not only looking at electricity, right? As electrical engineers, as electricians, as maintenance people, typically we're looking at what are the hazards with that electricity and how do I isolate that? Ross Controls has come out, and actually their VP of safety, I don't know if Chris is here yet, but he's going to be here somewhere today. They have a whole line of both pneumatic and hydraulic safety valves. And again, you can see here from lockout valves, exhaust valves, cylinder return valves, and holding valves. They're rated safety themselves, and they can operate themselves. They can actually, there are certain series of these that have built-in safety relays. So if you had to put them out on a machine, they are self-monitoring to actually be a safe holding or safe return or safe exhaust based on like an e-stop condition or whatnot. And here's the hydraulic safety as well. So something to consider as you're looking at machines, as you go to put safety on them, don't forget to look at all your different energy sources and what you need to isolate. That's very important to not only be looking at the electrical side, but also all your energy sources, including pneumatic and hydraulic. So I think my time's up. I did get a little wave back there. So please feel free to stick around, ask questions, visit us over there. Again, my name is Chris Jones. Feel free to call in if you have applications. We'd be more than happy to help you. Thanks for coming today.